You don't have to suffer and go through pain in order to manifest, in order to heal your trauma, in order to create a new identity. Pain and suffering is not necessary. I'm sorry if my videos have ever promoted this idea, because I used to have this belief system that pain was useful and that pain was necessary, and it was a part of how I worked through my trauma and how I got to the place that I am now. But that is not necessary. You can actually just jump into a new identity and just stop identifying with any of the pain from your past or from your present. I mean, there's levels to it. We're all at different phases. We're all experiencing life in a different way. Your soul probably chose to have certain experiences. But at the end of the day, you get to choose what reality to live in. You can just jump into a reality where everything is easy and you don't have to suffer at all to get what you want and to be healed. When we experience pain, it is helpful to sit with the pain and just to observe it. I don't mean to promote ruminating on your emotions, but sitting with your negative emotions and reflecting on them can help you if you struggle to identify your limiting beliefs or the negative thoughts you have about yourself, the negative thoughts you have about your life, the things you want to change about your life. Pain is a teacher. Pain gets our attention and shows us what we need to pay attention to and work on. But work doesn't have to be hard. Like, it doesn't have to feel like work. You can simply just be like, I identify this problem and I no longer identify with it. I don't want that to be part of my life experience anymore. And you don't need to sit around and ruminate on your negative emotions. There's always all these different feelings we could be feeling. Like, there are parts of my life that I can look at and I can feel the most beautiful emotion of fulfillment and love possible. And then there are parts of my life that I can look at and I can feel really sad and anxious. And I don't have to like spend a certain amount of time in both of these emotions. I could just spend all my time in the positive emotion. If you're newer to the spiritual awakening journey, you might not have access to like that highest emotion. I know that I didn't when I was starting out, but maybe you can get there faster than me. Anything is possible. And also maybe my videos can help you get to that vibration because I'm in that vibration in a faster way than how I had to go through it. But yeah, I know sometimes we're in situations where it just feels like we can't access those higher emotions. In those situations, observe your thoughts, observe your beliefs, work on changing them, work on releasing your pain in a healthy way and expressing yourself. But if you're at a point where you're kind of aware of everything that needs to be changed and the life that you want to have instead, you can just step into that life and just stay in that identity. And once you get into that energy, you'll feel guided to do the things that you're meant to do, and those things are going to feel good. There are two ways to go about things. We can act as if, we can act like the healed version of us. When I was doing my 30-day challenge, I was super busy. I was spreading myself really thin. I was constantly working. I never allowed myself time to really rest and like do what felt good. And then I also found myself like wanting to scroll on social media and dopamine seeking. And I was like, why are all of these like old bad habits coming back? And I realized it's because I was acting as if I was in a state of lack. I was acting in the identity of someone who doesn't have what they want, has to work hard to get to what they want, isn't acting consciously, and then is craving dopamine and pleasure because they're trying to like escape their reality and find some sort of comfort because they're not giving it to themselves. And so acting in that way literally put me in a different identity and in a different emotional state. Then when I caught myself and I was like, actually, I don't believe I need to work this hard and to like not enjoy life and spread myself so thin, and I can relax and live a slow paced life, then I didn't even want to go on social media anymore and dopamine seek. Then I was just like fine, and I was guided to do all the things that were better habits. And now I'm in this like even higher vibration. I can feel myself. I just like want to go to the gym. I want to cook. I want to just do like really mindful, simple activities. I want to make YouTube videos, and I want to clean my house, which is something that like I feel like Spirit has been telling me for a long time, to just clean my house and get rid of things and declutter and purge. And I just haven't felt like doing it. I just felt like I don't have time to do that. Like there's so much other stuff I want to do. But now that I'm in this higher vibration, it's just like, that's just what I want to do. And so again, there are two ways to go about things. You can act like the version of you that you want to be, and it will start to create that emotional state. And you can force yourself to act in the ways that that version of you would act. Or you can get into the emotional state, and then you're going to feel guided to do the things that that version of you would do. And they're going to feel good, and it's going to feel really easy to do those things. But yeah, I feel like I'm really dropping this belief that I have to suffer, that I have to go through pain in order to heal. There's nothing to fix anymore. I created a life that I love. I don't need to like purge any old emotions from the past anymore. I don't need to identify as this version of me that's bad at communicating and thinks about how people are perceiving her. I can literally just choose to be in this energy of just being like, this is my authentic self and I love my life, and if that like makes people feel invalidated, that's okay. And also like, I don't need to suffer in order to gain knowledge. I feel like for a long time I had this belief of like, I feel like for a long time I would get my most like valuable insights from these moments of pain and suffering. And so I started to really associate my pain and suffering with gaining things. I saw this video with Bashar where someone asked like, why do I, have these moments of like not being able to breathe and all these chronic illness symptoms? And he said something about how like, why do you believe that you have to suffer? Like, why do you have a belief that you have to suffer in order to gain something? Or just in general, why do you believe you have to suffer? And that's something I kind of held in the back of my head for the past few months of like, why do I have this belief that I have to suffer? But I feel like right now I'm finally like able to let that go. I finally got to the point where I'm able to really understand that concept and be like, I don't have to suffer in order to gain knowledge. A lot of times when I'm in pain, I will sit down and really be present with it and listen to my guides and allow them to give me insights. But I should probably just sit down with my guides when I'm happy and when I'm relaxed and allow them to speak to me, and I could get just as much insight from that. And I don't have to like experience all of the pain of what my subscribers are going through in order to help them through it. I feel like at this point, my intuition, my claircognizance is so strong that I can be told like the answers, I can be told whatever I need to know without having to go through it myself. I mean, it's kind of all already there. So yeah, I feel like I'm releasing this version of myself that thinks she has to suffer and she has to go through pain to gain knowledge or to feel better and to heal. That's just a limiting belief that a lot of us have. You don't have to ever experience pain ever again. That's, well, pain is part of the human experience, but you don't ever have to suffer ever again. And you don't have to suffer in order to get what you want or in order to heal or in order to gain something. That's just such a limiting belief that we have, and it's not true. You can gain everything that you want while being in this high vibrational state of unconditional love. Sometimes the lower version of me will have this thought like, well, now are my videos harmful because I do kind of promote this idea of like sitting with your pain. But I've never promoted ruminating on your pain. Like, that is how I experience the world. And I think it can be helpful to those of you that also experience the world in that way to know that your rumination is not going to prevent you from healing. And you can use your pattern recognition and your thoughtfulness to help yourself heal if you want. But also, you don't have to ruminate. You don't have to stay in those states of pain in order to get whatever you want. We're all at different stages. We're all experiencing life in a different way. We're all having our own human experiences. You get to choose whatever experience to have. I hope that my videos can help you feel comforted if they're having a similar experience to how I used to experience life, but I'm really just such a different version of myself now, and I just don't see things in that way anymore. I don't need to like feel my negative emotions in order to get them out of my body. We live in this like crazy spiritual universe, and you can quantum leap into a different reality and choose whatever energy and whatever vibration you want to be in, and which thoughts are you feeding, which version of your life are you focusing on. Whatever you focus on is going to become your reality, and whatever you believe is true is going to become real in that moment, and then at any point you can change it. So there's nothing to fear. If right now your reality is reflecting something negative to you, you can change your beliefs about that reality and it'll start reflecting that to you instead. And even if at any point you mess up, you can always change it again. There's literally nothing to fear. If you are stuck in these negative emotional states and purging negative emotions, I still like to believe that that's all working in your favor and there's nothing to worry about. But also, you don't need to be having that experience. You can let go of that experience. I feel like I've had a huge shift in the past few days in the way that I view things, and I'm really letting go of my savior complex and the way that I think I need to suffer in order to gain knowledge or in order to help other people. And even like this attachment to helping other people. We really help people the most by being in a high vibrational state, by being happy. So you can be happy and help people. I used to think that me like taking on other people's emotions was going to help them, or me learning lessons through my own suffering was going to help them. And that really just comes from like a lower vibrational people pleaser, toxic empath mindset. It's just not true. You can just help people while being in the highest, happiest state of your life. And that energy alone can heal people, and then you're also having an amazing experience of reality. Let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Have a good day.